Hey everybody, welcome back. My next guest, Klee of IBM. Still a large company.
Very much.
But I want to know, how is it evolving over the years to attract more young people, to give it more attention, and to make sure it doesn't fall behind?
Absolutely. So it's a gre's IBM's about 350,000 people. It's in 170 some-odd countries. It's a big ship to turn. So if you look at it, we're really pursuing it on two different sides. So one, there's a real effort to attract young people to the company, the millennial generation, and adapt the way we do things to the way millennials work so they can provide input. So there's a millennial corps internally that's working directly with the senior management on how do we work, what are we interested in, and the like. And that's driven a number of initiatives around sustainability, around social impact, and you see some of the direct effects of that, things like for new parents. There's now 6 months off for a new parent for both the expectant mother and the expectant father. So very much on the cutting edge, changing how we work. You see the open office plans and the like.
And you are a millennial yourself.
I am a millennial myself.
We're both like a little older on this.
So I've been the beneficiary of a lot of these changes at IBM. And if you look at it on the technology front, we're focusing on blockchain, on artificial intelligence, on cloud. So very much at the cutting edge of where we're going, building, it's less consumer facing, but it's at the beating heart of how the world runs. So every time you swipe your credit card when you get on an airplane, you know that the things you're building are driving the beating heart of how our country works, and that's enormously rewarding. So that direct tie of what am I doing actually creates real value, and being able to make sure millennials are working on that has been enormously important in helping create new innovation and change the course of the ship.
Cool. Tell us a little bit more about what you do specifically, and how did you get here?
Sure. So I lead the digital asset work for IBM. So that's the kind of cryptocurrency and related digital assets on blockchain. And we build technology for other people to use to go create those. So we're doing really interesting work, for instance, with Walmart and a number of other big companies, what's called IBM Food Trust, where if you remember back a few months, we had the E. coli breakout, which kind of seems like the umpteenth. It's painful. Yeah. And that's been really difficult for not just for kind of the quote unquote industry, but you think about individual farmers, the last one, most of the spinach in the US is produced in Mexico. So when that happened, all of the spinach got pulled off the shelves. It decimated the spinach growing industry in Mexico. And if we could identify exactly what farm it was very quickly, instead of pulling all of the spinach off, we can just nail it down to one. So we're building, along with our partners, the infrastructure to actually let that happen so we can get that exact one. It's a collective problem across Walmart and Carrefour and Kroger, the big players in the grocery industry. So they're working together to solve this. We're providing the technology underneath. If you look at other places we're going, it's similar types of how do we use new technology to solve immediate problems that have real world impact. And I'm fortunate to work with truly fantastic people, both millennials and folks who have been there for years on driving some of this innovation.
Where were you before IBM?
So I've been at IBM for quite a while now. I joined originally to help launch IBM Watson.
Okay.
So I helped launch the artificial intelligence unit, and then more recently. So when we talk about what is IBM doing to attract millennials and to change the way we work, again, I think I'm a great example, a big beneficiary here. I've been fortunate to work on the cutting edge of technology with a company that has enormous resources behind it and is putting a real emphasis on where can we do that to drive social good.
Anything else you want to tell our viewers?
I would suggest as you're thinking about where you're going and what you want to do next, I would focus on, you can chase money, you can chase fame, that's more than welcome to, but each day you've got to get up and you've got to find something that motivates you internally where you feel rewarded for the change you're making. And I've been fortunate working at IBM, the enormous resources we have to bear and the role we play at the beating heart of how the world works to be able to drive that kind of change. It's really, really rewarding for me, and IBM may not be the right one for you. It might not even be technology, but I'd highly suggest you find that place where you're enormously passionate and you have the excitement to keep getting up and do it again and again, day after day.
Yeah, we hear that a lot on our shows and all the other shows that I do. So,
of course.
Yeah, thank you, Gerald.
My pleasure.
Yeah.